is a description of the whole family lineage, which is very interesting and should be noted kind of in a little summarized form. So we have from Swayambhuva Manu and Satarupa came to three daughters, and these are Devahuti, Prasuti, and Akuti, and also two sons. They were Priyavrata and Uttanapat. So the Akuti, she married Ruchi, and from Ruchi came and Akuti came Yajna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, also as came Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. So later on, Yagya and Lakshmi, her name was Dakshina in this lila. They got married and they had 12 children, and they were called the Tusitas, the demigods, and one of them headed the seven sages, that was Marichi, and the other one, Yagya, took the position of Indra. So, and the idea was to populate the universe with living entities. So these living entities are described in the purports of this chapter by Srila Prabhupada as the Manus, the Devas, the Manuputras, the Amsavataras, the Sureshwaras, and the Rishis. So these are highly qualified living entities. These are not just any random living entities. These are highly qualified personalities, because the idea is that when there are highly qualified personalities on the planet, then automatically there will be a good progeny and the material world will serve its purposes, meaning will give the opportunity for the jivas to get the opportunity for mukti and bhakti, particularly bhakti, devotional service, and returning back to the spiritual world. So then we have the second daughter. She married Kardama Muni, and then they had 9 daughters given to the sages. And then we have Prasuti, who married Daksha. So these are very interesting lineage, and gradually from this lineage we come to the position where we hear that the Trimurti actually appeared in the family of Atri Muni. So here is this text. I'm just going a little bit back. Maitreya said, when Lord Brahma ordered Atri Muni to create generations after marrying Anasuya, Atri Muni and his wife went to perform severe austerities in the valley of the mountain known as Vriksha. So in this mountain, they performed severe austerities to qualify themselves. Atri Muni wanted to have the Supreme Lord as his son, another avatar or incarnation of the Lord in this material world. And the description is he was standing on one leg a long time. And then after that, so then the 3 deities appeared before him, and he was so pleased to see them all together that despite the great difficulty, he approached them on one leg, continued like that. So then we come to this question, how is that when Atri Muni prayed to the Lord for appearing in his family, how is that the Trimurti appeared? And this is where we are today. And so this is Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring from Shukadev Goswami, how did this happen? And Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that the surprise of Atri Muni, and he couldn't understand how did this happen. Why the Trimurti and why not just the one Supreme Personality of Godhead? So we continue to the text 29. Maitreya vacha iti tasya vacha srutva trayaste vidubhadrasavi pratyahu shlakshnaya vacha prahasya tham rishim prabhu. The great sage Maitreya continued, upon hearing Atri Muni speak in that way, the three great deities smiled, and they replied in the following sweet words. So here is actually the conversation between Maitreya and Vidura that was given to Parikshit Maharaj, of course. So here, these three deities, they appear in front of Atri Muni, and he's completely stunned and bewildered. What has happened? And the three deities, of course, are smiling, and we're going to have now their reply, the next verse, which is 30. So we're going to go to the 30, and we'll speak a little longer on that one. So the text 30 follows like that. Deva uchu yata kritaste sankalpo bhavyam tenaiva nanyataha satsankalpasya te brahmam yadvaidayati te vayam. The three deities told Atri Muni, dear Brahmana, you are perfect in your determination, and therefore, as you have decided, so it will happen. It will not happen otherwise. We are all the same person upon whom you were meditating, and therefore we have come all to you. So this is a very interesting verse, and Srila Prabhupada's purport is, of course, very important to give us the particular insight of what is happening here based on parampara. So Srila Prabhupada's purport, I'm going to read it. Atri Muni unspecifically taught of the personality of Godhead, the Lord of the universe. Although he had no clear idea of the Lord of the universe, nor of his specific form, Mahavishnu, from whose breeding millions of universes emanate, and into whom they are again withdrawn, may be accepted as the Lord of the universe. Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, from whose abdomen sprouted the lotus flower, which is the birthplace of Brahma, may also be considered the Lord of the universe. Similarly, Kshirodakasaya Vishnu, who is the super soul of all living entities, may also be considered the Lord of the universe. Then under the order of Kshirodakasaya Vishnu, the Vishnu form within this universe, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva may also be accepted as the Lords of the universe. Vishnu is the Lord of the universe because he is its maintainer. Similarly, Brahma creates the different planetary systems and the population So he also may be considered the Lord of the universe, or Lord Shiva, who is ultimately the destroyer of the universe, also may be considered its Lord. Therefore, since Atri Muni did not specifically mention whom he wanted, all three, Brahma, Vishnu, and Lord Shiva, came before him. They said, since you were thinking of having a son exactly like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord of the universe, your determination will be fulfilled. In other words, one's determination is fulfilled according to the strength of one's devotion. I stated in Bhagavad Gita 9:25, Yanti deva vrata devam pitrin yanti pitri vrataha. If one is attached to a particular demigod, one is promoted to the abode of that demigod. If one is attached to the Pitas or the forefathers, one is promoted to their planet. And similarly, if one is attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, he is promoted to the abode of Lord Krishna. Atri Muni had no clear conception of the Lord of the universe. Therefore, the three presiding deities, who are actually the lords of the universe, in the three departments of the modes of nature, all came before him. Now, according to the strength of his determination for a son, his desire would be fulfilled by the grace of the Lord. So, this is indicative of how we should be very specific in our practice so that we can get the clear perception that we are aiming at. There was a story in the Mahabharata where one day Dronacharya took Arjuna and his brothers, the Pandavas, to the forest, and he wanted to train them to shoot with arrows, but he wanted to give them a very complicated task. So he wanted them to shoot an arrow, but there was a wooden fish that was placed on one of the branches of a tree to quite a distance. I believe it was like 300 meters. And he placed this wooden fish on a branch of a tree. And the task was that the brothers had to hit the eye of the fish. So all the brothers took turns. Arjuna was the last one. And before Arjuna, all the brothers were asked by Dronacharya, what are you seeing now when are you aiming with your arrow at that fish? And they were saying, I see the branch, and I see the fish. The one said. The other one said, I see the fish itself. The other one said, I see the head of the fish. And Dronacharya told them, don't shoot. So then when Arjuna's turn came, he was asked this question. So what do you see, Arjuna? And of course, Arjuna said, I see the eye of the fish. So then Drona told Arjuna, shoot. And then, of course, Arjuna hit the target. So we learn from this example that we need to know what we are aiming at. We need to be very much conscious of what is the objective that we are looking at by practicing bhakti. In a particular case, in the case of Atri Muni, he wanted a son. He performed great austerities along with his wife in the forest. But as Prabhupada explains in the purport, he didn't have a very clear description or conception, rather, of what was the form of the Lord and how actually which aspect of the Lord should appear. And so, of course, the Lord transcendental humor, he appeared in this Trimurti form in front of him, and he told him we're all the same. So how do we understand this? Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that Lord Vishnu is the creator of the universe, and not only of this universe, but of all the universes. Therefore, he is the supreme person. While Brahma, he is the secondary creator of this universe, and Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, he is the destroyer of this universe. So, of all the three, the supreme person is actually Lord Vishnu. However, because Vishnu expands for particular purposes like creation or destruction in this material world, then we have the other two aspects of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we know from Srila Prabhupada that sometimes when there is no qualified living entity in this material world to take the post of Brahma, sometimes the Lord descends to take this post, and directly Brahma is the Supreme Person. And we also know that Lord Shiva is the glance of Lord Vishnu, or Shambhu. So when Shambhu glances over the material energy, or Vishnu glances over the material energy via his vision, Shambhu, his glance, then the living entities are impregnated in this world. So being the glance of Vishnu, Shiva is not different also from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in that way, we should be equally respectful. But however, in our Shastra, we have been warned that we should never put, especially when we recite the 10 offenses, we should never put Brahma and Shiva to be equal to Lord Vishnu, otherwise that's considered atheism. So we should be always conscious that both Brahma and Shiva are actually different functions of Lord Vishnu, and for that purpose they are equal to Vishnu, but at the same time they are just certain functions or expansions of the Lord, and the origin of all of them is ultimately Sri Vishnu. So this is the Vaishnava perspective on the Trimurti. However, that doesn't mean that we should disrespect Brahma and Shiva, not at all. If Lord Shiva entered in front of me now, I would certainly be mesmerized and offer him obeisances. Or if Lord Brahma came in front of me, I'll offer him obeisances, because I understand their position in relationship to Sri Vishnu. So therefore, we have to have that sincerity and respect and devotion also to these great personalities, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. At the same time, we know that we are aiming particularly at the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. And also we understand from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that the culmination of the divinity, the culmination of divinity ends with Sri Krishna. This is also confirmed by Lord Brahma in his own Brahma Samhita. So in that way, we always can focus and meditate at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So maybe some devotee some of you who are listening may be praying for the incarnation of the Lord to enter in your family. That is not forbidden. Devotees can have such a desire to be a parent to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but of course, we need to see the immense austerities that were performed, in this case by Atri Muni and his wife. So if we want the Lord to appear in a family, we should be ready to perform severe austerities and maybe to take a couple of lifetimes for the Lord to appear, for us to be qualified, And of course, that has to be, besides the desire, there has to be the clear idea if we want a specific form of the Lord to appear. But for the rest of us who are just practicing bhakti and aiming at returning back to the spiritual world, we should know exactly where we want to go and which aspect of the Lord we want to relate to and associate with. So Prabhupada clearly has delineated in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that the devotees worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but particularly Shyamasundar, Krishna in Vrindavan. I'm not sure which purport was that in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Maybe it was somewhere around the 10th or 11th chapter. I remember Srila Prabhupada speaks about it in the purport that the devotees respect all the expansion of the Supreme Lord, but particularly they are aiming at service at the lotus feet of Shyamasundar in Vrindavan. So this is the Sampradaya of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, and the objective of our practice is Radha Shyamasundar. So this is a very confidential and very high level perception that we're being given by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes devotees are asking me, so what about the Vaidya and Raganuga Bhakti? Can we practice certain aspects of Raganuga Bhakti so that we can become spontaneous Ragatmika Bhaktas? What is the answer to this question? And in my experience and what I am understanding from Srila Prabhupada's teachings is that we simply have to perform our basic duties that were given by Srila Prabhupada. The daily duties, like chanting of 16 rounds and following the four regular principles, but specifically the chanting of the 16 rounds has to be very concentrated so that we can come to the spontaneous level of devotional service, which is about the level of Nishta. So in Bhakti Yoga we have 9 levels from Shraddha to Prema. And if we want to enter into the realm of spontaneous devotional service, we have to come to the level of Ruchi, which is taste for the holy name, and taste for Bhakti devotional service, which is a very specific type of consciousness, which we could describe simply by saying that if you really have taste for the holy name you're chanting, the holy name will not come down off your tongue or off your mind. In many of our cases, we are not on that level of consciousness as yet. We are chanting strictly the 16 rounds, but we should be very careful how we are chanting the 16 rounds, because there are three ways to chant. One is Nama Parat, which is not paying the sufficient attention to the holy name. And one is Namabhas, which is paying attention and sometimes not paying attention to the holy name. And the third one is the topmost aspect of chanting is Shuddhanam, which is a complete absorption in chanting of the Maha Mantra. So in our times, they're quite difficult because we are too burdened with work and perhaps family duties, many of you, and of course, one of the great distraction of this age is the internet. Becomes like an addiction, and we should be very careful, because if we're chanting the holy name without the sufficient concentration, we'll not be able to come to the level of ruchi, which means we will not be able to become spontaneously attracted to the holy name and to develop spontaneous affection and be qualified for re-entering the pastimes of the Lord. So this is perhaps the message that I would like to send, that we need to focus on chanting Shuddhanam and without distractions, chanting without distractions, which is really difficult. So my advice for all of you is very simple, which I know it works. The most important thing for the sadhaka, the practitioner devotee, is to go to bed early and to rise early so that we can chant our rounds before sunrise, if possible. So I know many devotees are struggling with that. But I tell you for sure, for certain, that if you want to chant tasteful rounds, just remember this word tasteful rounds, which is kind of experiencing some taste and some ruchi, some bliss or joy in the chanting of the holy name. It has to be done in the Brahma Muhurta hour. Otherwise, chanting becomes like a burden. We're chanting here and there, a few rounds, in the midst of doing so many other things. And our focus is not completely on the holy name. So just like Atri Muni, he was performing this tremendous yagya to have the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his son, but of course, without clear conception what he wants, and then he got Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva at the same time. So we are advised indirectly that we should know exactly what we are looking at, what we are aiming at. Just like the story of Dronacharya and the Pandavas, we should be looking at the eye of the fish to be able to receive that blessing. So the final words that I could say before I take some questions from the devotees is that let us all take a vow to chant concentrated rounds. Because in this concentration, we will experience Krishna in the holy name. Otherwise, we will experience like the process of chanting as a dry and burdensome and beautiful. And yeah, we will delay our process of enlightenment. We will come to a full blossomed Krishna Bhakti or Krishna Prema. So this is something that we should all note and we should all try to implement in our lives. When we are chanting, switch off your phone completely, put it in the next door, in the room next to outside the other room, and completely try to focus. And one last advice, a simple practice that I have that works for me very nicely when I chant the holy name is I do the following. It's something that I kind of developed for my own sake, for my improving my own concentration. So when I chant, usually I take a deep breath inwards while I'm chanting the mantra in my mind. And then while I'm exhaling, maybe about 3 or 4 mantras I'll exhale, like vocalizing it. So it will look something like that, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram. So in this way, you get a full balance of breathing in and breathing out. And the mind becomes focused on this breathing process to be steady on focusing the holy name through this breathing process. So the mind, through this breathing process, which is measured, comfortably measured, is focusing on this breathing and simultaneously on the holy name. So in this way, we could have a better way to focus on the Mahamantra. And by doing so, we hope to first experience the joy of chanting, which is a great thing. If we experience enjoying chanting, it's really something special that many devotees, I would say, have told me that, I'm chanting beautifully, but I don't feel any bliss to chant. So if we can reach the level of joy in chanting, that is wonderful. And the next level will be actually deeper perception of Lord Chamasundara. And of course, the Lord, by his sweet will appear whenever he wants to in our presence. And just give us a darshan. So of his rupa. Of course, the holy name is a full darshan of the Lord in the form of sound vibration, Brahma Murti. But when we are chanting, the Lord appears in that way, but also he can appear in the form of his rupa and give us a specific darshan. So we are not so kind of focused on that also, because Prabhupada said, just try to act in such a way that Krishna will want to see you rather than we want to see Krishna. So be a sincere devotee, humble devotee, and then Krishna definitely will want to see you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandot Pranam, Prabhuji.
Jai
I have
Prabhu.
Prabhuji, just you described 3 levels of chanting. First
Yes.
one is Nam Aparad, and
Yes.
the last one is Shuddha Nama. What is the middle one? You said
Middle one is Namabas, which is it is when we are sometimes conscious of the holy name, sometimes the mind is gone somewhere and we are not focusing the holy name, but we are bringing We are noticing, oh, I'm not thinking, I'm not concentrating. Let me bring my mind back. So this is the stage of Namabhas. This is the middle stage where we have this conscious and unconscious chanting and again conscious. It's a battle of the focus.
Vash, Nama Vash, Vash. Nama Vash.
Namabhas, Namabhas.
Okay, Prabhu.
It's like a reflection of the holy name, but not really the full blossom presence of the holy name. That's what Namabhas means. And your name is Pradeep, right?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Hare Krishna.
So you should know that if you chanting like this in Namabhas, you can get only mukti, not bhakti, not prema. So Namabhas will lead us to mukti. But the first level, Namaparat, will get some good material life the most. Nothing more than that. Because it says in Śrīmad Chaitanya Charitamrita that if we chant Namaparat, it takes us millions of lifetimes to get prema. So we'll have some good life in the material world, but not really mukti. We'll not get out of this cycle, and we will not go back to Krishna Loka. We will not get prema or bhakti. So we have to come at least to the level of Namabhas, where we're noticing, are we conscious or are we unconscious of it? And then gradually, when we develop even more eagerness, like Atri Muni, he was so eager to get the Lord as a son, we could get that eagerness to come to the level of Sudhana, or pure chanting. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Actually, his name is Prem Kantha Prabhu. He's initiated disciple of Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and his Karmi name is written. He's very senior devotee.
Okay, Prem Kantha Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Just see, Prabhu, what beautiful name you have. Prem Kantha.
Just in God mercy, it's God mercy.
Yes, the Supreme Lord's.
And Guru Maharaj's mercy.
Yes, he's the embodiment of Prema, Guru Maharaj. Yes.
Yeah, we have one question. Sorry, Prabhu, I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to thank Prem Kantha Prabhu for the question. Very nice question. Thank you, Prabhu.
We have a question from Amit Sethi Prabhu. You can unmute your mic and ask the question, Prabhu.
Yeah, sure.
What's his name again, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. My name is Amit Sethi.
Okay, Amit Sethi.
I'm from New Delhi. Yeah. So, Prabhuji, my question is, as we have talked about Nama Prad, Nama Bhas, and Shuddha Nam, and say a person reached a stage of Nama Bhas, so he will be getting mukti as that. But and if he gets mukti, but he is looking for Krishna Prem, then what will happen? I mean, because he is eligible for mukti and he will get the mukti. Then how will he get Krishna Prem if he get mukti?
Yeah. So therefore, we should know this description was given by Haridas Thakur in Chaitanya Charitamrita. You can find it. I believe it was in Madhya Lila. It's somewhere within the Madhya Lila, where Haridas Thakur explains that Namabhas chanting leads to mukti. To mukti. So, this is the reference that we have, and this is why I'm saying that. Now, what should we do if we get mukti? Well, mukti in our case will mean that we will go to Vaikuntha and associate with Lord Narayan. one of the aspects of Lord Narayan. But now, if we are bhaktas, if we are devotees of Krishna, we should be very focused on that desire to attain the lotus feet of Krishna and ultimately come to the Sudanam platform. So we are encouraged to, migrate from Namaparat to Namabhas to Sudanam, and the sooner the better. It is really wonderful. You probably all have an experience where we really focused on the holy name. We experienced this wonderful joy and taste to chanting. Maybe a rare occurrence, but we have probably that experience. So why not have it all the time? And within this joyful chanting, actually the blessings of the Lord in a full way manifest. So if we are chanting Namabhas, as far as I understand, we will reach to Vaikuntha planets, and we will still have service to the Lord, but it will be in relation to Lord Narayan and his expansions. So we need to move beyond that perception. We also know, to kind of help you understand, that when we worship the deities in the initial stages of neophyte service to the deity, we worship Radha and Krishna as Lakshmi Narayan. So that is kind of the level of consciousness. But when the devotee progresses, then the perception of deity worship changes, and from Lakshmi Narayan it goes to Radha and Krishna. So although we are worshiping Radha and Krishna, it is in the mood of awe and reverence. That is Lakshmi Narayan. But Radha and Krishna worship directly is the mood of sweetness, spontaneous sweetness, and that is a very high level.
Prabhuji, thank you so much. Actually, my question was a little, different from this. I was asking that, say, for example, because see, moving from Nama Prat to Nama Bhas and then from Nama Bhas to pure to Shuddhanam, it's a kind of the steps in the ladder. So if, say, for example, a person is, till the time he is doing a Nama Prad, he will keep getting the births, maybe very good life, very comfortable life, all the kind of good things comes to him. But he still have a chance to do chanting and move to the next levels. But if a person on in a particular birth gets is reached to a stage of nama bhas, and now he is eligible for going to Vaikuntha and do the service of the Lord as Narayan, but he himself doesn't want that, but he is eligible and he will get it. My question was that what is the difference between a person who is chanting at the stage of Namabhas and going to Vaikuntha, and a person who is doing a chanting at a Namabhas but still wants to progress further and move to Shuddhanam, so that he will reach to Golok Dham. So there is a difference between the mindset of these two people, but at the second level, he is eligible to go to Vaikuntha, and maybe he will go there, but he is not willing to go there.
He is not capable yet of going. So we know that what will help us in this case is called lobha. It's transcendental lobha. It's spiritual greed. It's called an intense desire to actually attain the Vrindavan service to the Lord. So if someone ends up in Vaikuntha, I believe that if he is really eager to go to Vrindavan, he will continue. searching for the blessings of the Lord, and we can be promoted, but he has to transform his consciousness. Just like Lakshmi, she wanted to enter the rasa dance, but she couldn't, because she couldn't give up the awe and reverence aspect of her consciousness. So we can do it right here in this material world. We don't have to go to Vaikuntha, so that from Vaikuntha we can change the Loka. We can do it right here, and for that purpose we require Loba. You know, this greed, transcendental greed, which Rupa Goswami explains. So it's all, if you read Prabhupada's purport that we just read now, it says it's all about determination. Prabhu, you can bring it again, the 30, text 30 purport, and let us now, it will make a lot of sense to us. I'll just read you one aspect of the purport. Yeah, just let's read the final sentence. Now, according to the strength of his determination for a son, his desire would be fulfilled by the grace of the Lord. Just look at the last sentence. Now, according to the strength of his determination for a son, his desire will be fulfilled by the grace of the Lord. So, how determined, Amit Prabhu, you are to go to Vrindavan? That is the question.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. I got it.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vraja Krishna Prabhu. Thanks for the wonderful class. I am very thankful. I just requesting all the devotees that please pray for Vraja Krishna Prabhu, and we get his association soon. Right now in Bulgaria, it is 5:30 a.m. and Prabhuji is giving us time because he, for the welfare of other, he's not taking care of himself, but is taking care of other devotees. During his sadhana period, when 5 to 7 is the chanting time, he is giving us time, he's giving his valuable association so we can elevate to Krishna consciousness. So he's in Bulgaria, but when he said me, what is the time, I was very sorry for Prabhu, because we should not disturb the devotees during their personal time. But devotees don't care about their personal time. They are so merciful to us that they are able to ready for the class. So I'm very grateful, Braja Krishna Prabhu. I'm really very sorry we cannot offer you the garland and the prasad. But
No.
whenever you are in Dubai, I want to get this opportunity. Whenever you are in Dubai, please bless us with your presence so we can personally, physically, by the Vapu, we can also offer you. I'm really very sorry for this, Prabhu.
Oh, no. It's for me, it's a wonderful opportunity to extend myself, and we should learn this, that when the Lord wants us to perform some seva, and even if it's uncomfortable for us in terms of timing and the daily schedule that we have, if the Lord wants you to perform a seva, you have to forget your daily schedule and you have to do the seva, because that is what is important, to take up that call. Like, what comes to my mind is that lila of the Brahmins were doing the yagas, and Balaram and Krishna Balaram went and they said, "My dear Brahmins, we are hungry. Can you please feed us?" So they said, "No, just get lost. We're busy now doing seva, and they send the boys away hungry. So I thought, how can I actually, excuse myself? This is the Lord's calling, I cannot end, if it's once in a while like that, sometimes something happens. We should be able to, modify our behavior to suit the seva of the Lord. And then we go back into our schedule. So it's no problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We won't take much of your time. So in 1 minute, I will revise that what your lecture was there. If you permit me, it's okay?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So you said in the lecture that we have to focus on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna and the Shyam Sundar. If you want to develop the taste in the chanting, so you have to be very careful. For that, you have to take 2 precautions, that during your morning sadhana chanting time, don't use internet, which is a big distraction. And also you said that chanting without...
In the day also, not only morning. When we chant Anytime we don't use internet, just keep the phone far away from you, and just chant. So
Yes, but we see that devotees in the morning time while chanting, they are checking the WhatsApp status, checking the Instagram and the Facebook. This is not good. This will not bring any change. So another tip that you give, that we have to go to bed early before the sunrise in the Brahma Muhurta. We have to chant. Through this, we can develop the taste in the chanting. And you also say that if we are not doing this, then our devotional service, the chanting will become a burden and there will be no test. And after, maybe we have seen that people are leaving the devotional service and they are again back to the Maya. So we should take a vow that chant concentrate round to experience Krishna. And during chant, of course, they keep mobile, again you repeat this, keep mobile into the other room or the switch off the mobile. And also the one practice, that tip that you have given, that the take breathe deep, and so you can concentrate on the, like you also showed us. So this was the whole revision of the class. And of course, we won't take much of your time. And I'm very thankful, Prabhu. We will maybe call you once in a month or after every 2 months. So we will disturb you. And whenever you are in Dubai and in India, the devotees will take care of you. Hare Krishna.
so much. Thank you, dear devotees. I'm so fortunate to have been invited into Srila Prabhupada's family. You must know that I am feeling so grateful for Srila Prabhupada and for what he has created. Um, he has created a worldwide family, and besides that, he is